I'm Ken Karpoff. I coach. I've been coaching for a very long time, and I tend to coach at the top end. So I coach people who are at the top of their game to take a step up. And there's a gap there between top level performance and super level performance, and I coach in that zone. And to do that, I wrote a book because I've been coaching athletes at the top end, only gold medalists, and we go for the Olympic podium. It's specialized coaching. It's a specialized area, and it applies to anybody. But the tricks we learned, I put into this thing, a little book on head games and how you work at the high level. So if you want to take your game up, this is how you do it. And then I coach CEOs on the side, coach artists, parents and teachers, and meaning anybody. Anybody wants to improve their performance and get away from the rat of the current high performance narrative that we work with across the board. We all get impacted by it. I try and clean out the clutter, get rid of the mental malware, and then work on building a basic platform from which to grow performance. A bit of a story on this one is technology for me, because I coach internationally and my people are all over the place, is that over the years we've worked with the cell phone as it's evolved. So I coached the 2006 Winter Olympics on an old Nokia cell phone with a little antenna on the top from a ditch outside of town. The athlete called me, I'm on a bike ride, I work an hour on a cell phone from the middle of nowhere. Now over time it's changed, the cell phones have got better, we've got stronger 3G, so I was in 2013-14 in the middle of Spain in a small plaza. I get a Skype call and I'm working there in the middle of nowhere again on a Skype call. Lately this year it's WhatsApp, and we're doing WhatsApp calls from around the world. So for me, I do a lot of my work with a cell phone in the middle of anywhere. And so that really impacts me, and all the rest of the things like the new video technologies that are so portable and so easy to work with, plus the editing suites are so easy to work with. So now I can take my content and I can coach people in a broad range across the entire world, and I do. I've got people who follow me every part of the world. I mean, like everywhere, and get my coaching from the far south of New Zealand, all the way across. I've got Russians, I've got people from China, everybody. It's just like everywhere. So the technology allows me to work what I do everywhere in the world and with anybody. I have gone through the cell phone thing because the cell phone, because it's in my pocket and I'm on the road a lot, I needed some particular things in the cell phone. So what I did is I was looking for a dual SIM card because I'm in Europe and Canada. And then I'm looking for a massive storage capacity and lots of RAM. So, and a jack. That's a jack. So without, one phone came up. So I went to the Chinese startup OnePlus, and they build monsters that are stripped down and simple. So for me, that phone has worked really well. Some of the other companies' phones that I've worked with, there's other issues, especially when you're not in a main market. We don't get the service that other places get. So for me, when I've worked with some of the Taiwan or some of the bigger brands, I got killed on service. And I get a phone, it just wouldn't work. And then they wouldn't fix it, which is another problem with phones. Service, generally, terrible. Yeah, my current portfolio, I work a lot with SLR cameras, with 4K capacity, and I work a lot with the cell phone with its 4K capacity dumbed down to 1080p if we're talking techie stuff. So what I found is we need good sound for video, so I use a range of mics, but they're small and they're not that expensive. And then edit suites, I'm working with CyberLink. Now, some of my guys use Adobe, but you know, pick your platform and go. I'm working with a Rode directional mic, a stick mic on my phone, and I'm working with the OnePlus 5 standard phone, and it just suits my needs. But like with all tech, you got to pick your tech to, what do you want to do with it? And also what's your capabilities to work with the stuff. So for me, stripped down phones, stock Android, jack, high storage capacity, and dual SIM for me. Workflow sites, big one for us has been WhatsApp. Back between Europe and Canada and Asia, we use WhatsApp constantly. And it's become, I think, our biggest working app and communication app. I use things for document filing like Evernote quite a bit because it's on the go, your phone's in your pocket, you can pick it up when the notes go in there, contact information, all of that stuff because I'm running all the time. So that makes a big difference for me. The phone is super technology for me, and I can essentially run my operation and have for the last decade or more, 15 years off a cell phone. So yeah, for me, a phone's a big deal. This is my latest toy for video editing, and this thing is a gimbal, so it just gives me the flat, even screen. And so like this, it just come up like that, and putting the phone in here I can track with it. For video, it's really interesting. It's not, for me, from a gimbal point of view, the end game. This is still, we're working into the low price gimbals that are going to be good. This is a stopgap measure, as far as I'm concerned. 1 or 2 years and it's gone. It'll be way better in 2 years. The phones right now for me are functionally really good. And then the only way they're going to move up to me is that they're going to bring in different types of technology, like VR and things like that, which I may or may not use. Right? And I'm not even sure how the future technologies are going to work. This I need. Then this little guy here, because the problem with using small surfaces is to get good sound, that fits into the cell phone, and you cover it with a sock. You've got a wind mic. They work not too bad, and they're not that much money if you're doing video. So for me, because I'm coaching and teaching and consulting, video for me is a huge platform, and I need to do it, and so I have the equipment to do it. And it's not the best equipment, but it's good enough. YouTube is my prime, but I also take a YouTube and embed it in lessons. So like if anybody goes to my blog, they'll see I embed a lot of video in blogs and use both the written text and support the vlog or the video with written text and straight still pictures. So I'm trying to integrate the mediums that I have available. And the one medium I don't use a lot is strictly voice on podcasting. I haven't got into podcasts at all yet. And I'm really big on the video platform because it's super easy to use and it's super versatile. I just wrote a piece on change, the nature of change as it pertains to change in general and change in technique and technology, meaning there's quite a bit of discussion about in the current environment about how do we adapt to change, like how do we adapt to technological change, and how do we, because I'm a performance guy, how do we change this as it relates to this? And the thing is, it's not technology that's really got to change. It's going to change, but this thing has to change huge to work with, adapt to, and get past the fear of. And what we've got now is that, okay, like I'm coaching national teams. Equipment and technology takes 50% of my time. How do you deal with technology? Meaning runners, skis, how do you use skis? How do you work with rifles and bullets in biathlon? How do you adapt to equipment? What's the weight of a bike? How do you change that? Do you need to go here? Do you need to spend that? This takes 50% of my time for most athletes. Change with technology, whether it's cars or whatever, is one of the biggest performance issues that we have today. And the way you relate to technology and the way you think about technology as a platform for your performance, because your performance is based on using the technology, is critical. And most people, generally speaking, get hung up on that and get hurt by it. And it's one of the most expensive business issues that cost you the most to do business that there is today. And if there's one thing I got to say for your clients and the people that you work with, if you don't get your head around this stuff, sort it out clean, you're going to get clobbered and you're going to bleed to death financially.